Hi Essex. Wow, I want to start this maths lesson by saying I was absolutely blown away by your efforts on squared numbers and cube numbers. Absolutely brilliant. The effort you put in, the quality of the work that you did. Um, Thank you to the parents who were supporting you. It was just really great, and it was lovely to see you and speak to you on the Zoom as well. And we'll definitely catch up again today. So this is our maths lesson. I thought we'd rediscover some of our old favourites and see how they translate while we're not working together, because I'd hate to lose them. I'm just going to share my screen and then you'll see exactly what I'm alluding to. So I'm just going to pick up the slideshow here. So we've got arithmetic and key skills today. So being ready for some mental maths, revisiting key skills, mathematical skills that hopefully by now you're really feeling confident about remembering that accuracy and that attention to detail, because really the phrase "a silly mistake," we don't want that. We're better than that. So get the learning objective written down in your book, get today's date done, and let's get on with learning. Flashback 4, a really great favourite of mine and yours, I know. So we have here 4 questions plus the Roman numeral. I think I'm just going to pick up a little a pen. I think that's going to be quite useful to me. What colour shall we have? Let's have a nice blue. So here we go. So do remember the Roman numeral up here, as well as the 4 questions. So just a few things just to draw your attention to. So multiplying here, we've got a mixed number fraction multiplied by a whole number. So a couple of ways you could go around that. You could multiply the whole numbers and the fraction, or you could convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. Number 2, we've got the addition. Now, really important to see that it is addition. I know quite a lot of you are probably going to be smirking now because you know, oh, I did take away, Mr. Adams, instead of adding. So really pay attention to that. And we notice that the denominators, the number at the bottom of the fractions, are different. So what are you going to do about that? Now, question 3 is a calculation question. Something that we had a look at before we went into the lockdown, and it's all about the order of operations. So if you remember our pyramid that we had, it's quite an interesting pyramid, isn't it, boys and girls? And what we need to do is we need to go for brackets and indices, and then what comes next and what comes after that. So the order in which you do this calculation is going to be really important. Do it right, you're very likely to get it right. Get the order incorrect, I'm afraid it's not going to work out for you. So have a think about that. And here we got the a quadrant question. So remembering that we've got x and y, and there's some information that maybe has slipped your mind a little bit, but the way in which the quadrants are ordered is the first one is here, and then it goes counter or anti-clockwise. So you end up with the first quadrant, and then you have to move anti-clockwise to get to the second quadrant. Now, remembering that, of course, this is going to be a positive, and this is going to be a positive. and this is going to be a negative, and this is going to be a negative. Now, I'm going to let you pause this video and have a go at those questions. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can change to a better pen. So pause the video, and the very best of luck with this. Okay, so how did you do? Let's have a look at the answers. Maybe you want to have a chat, because I do recognize that some of you, through the powers of technology, have been working together. And if that's the case, do have a chat. If you've got a parent or adult helper, you know, how confident are you? Do you think you've approached this in the right way? But here are the answers. So we've got 8. So we could have had 3 times 2, and then 3 times 2 is 6 thirds, which would be another 2. So we'd have 8 in total. We could have done, I guess, an improper 2 times 3 plus 2 and multiply it by 3. And here's a representation. What did you do here? Did you change the denominator? Oh, here's the order. So was it this part first? I can hear Naomi. She's saying, what's that, Naomi? BODMAS. It's BODMAS. Brackets, and then other. And then divide, multiply, add, and subtract. BODMAS. It's really helpful. And then the quadrant. So it was in the 3rd quadrant. So the pen went a little bit skew with the last time, but this is the negative, and this is the negative here. So if you've got a negative and a negative, it's going to have to be in the 3rd quadrant. This one could have had a negative and a positive across here, and these two wouldn't really work. So well done. Maybe pause the video, reflect on how you did now you've seen the answers, give yourself a pat on the back, and if you need to, just have a reflect. Of course, you can ask questions on Dojo, and I'm very happy to help you with that. So let's move on. Now, today's Tough 10, you're thinking, well, there's 2 Mr. Adams. Well, we left school and I realized we don't have any answers for these. So you've got new books at home. It'd be really great to have another go. I know you'll recognize this, and hopefully this is one that you also recognize, but we didn't have the answers for. So have another quick look at them, and then we can go over the answers. Remember, this is 10 squared, something like this. Remember, I know Emma and Elena Chandri are working really hard on knowing that that's 7 times 3, and then we multiply it by 10. For those of you who might forget, well, what does that mean? That means times, so it could be 7/10 times 50. There we've got the cube, which is what we practiced yesterday, and I think everything else there would be fairly straightforward for you. Let's have a little look down here. So I think what we have here, it's worth noting that this is to 2 decimal places and this is to 1 decimal place. So that might be worth noting. A couple of divisions and quotients. This is really an inverse operation for your times tables. And another good example here, Emma, Elena Chandra, everyone else who's really practicing these, we saw just a few errors on the arithmetic. So 3 times 4, but this time 10 times 10 is 100. So I know some of you like to do 3 times 4, multiply that by 10 and by 10 again. And here's another cube. So pause the video and do your workings out. And for those who are really speedy, which could be any of you, but I know that Tom, you're really speedy, and Naomi, what about those inverse? What about it being the first marker? Pause the video, have a go at these. Buzzy Bee Maths, another old favourite. I'm really grateful practicing those arithmetic and key skills. So down here we have the vocabulary. So when you're doing your reasoning, part, whole, the common factors, multiplication, division. So up here we have some practice. 1 times 12. I don't think that's any surprise. That's 12, and that's 12. So let's remember that these are called what? So I can't quite hear you. Okay, factor pairs. Brilliant. So how many factor pairs have we got there? Yeah, that's right. We've got 3. 1, 2, 3. But how many factors are there? Well, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Are those all the factors of 12? What are the common factors? What are the factors of 24? First of all. And then down here we've got the common factors of 24. Okay, so have a look. Try and use this language. Pause the video and have a go at that. Okay, so just recapping and refining your skills on division. We have this word here, the quotants. So what is the difference between the quotants? Now the quotants will be in fact the answers. So these are the questions, but the answer really is what we're looking for, and then we're needing to find out what the difference is there. So have a go at the reasoning and the practice. Have a look at the vocabulary, and we got dividend and divisor and quotient. So that would represent we've got 1, 2, and when the answers are 3. So 3 numbers and 3 descriptive mathematical terms. The difference. What's the difference between them? What does that mean? Okay, pause the video and have a go. Great. So just before we come to an end and review the work today, some arithmetic practice here. Again, this is division, a really important skill, and one that requires a really high degree of accuracy, because unfortunately there can be errors, and it's not just you, it happens for many children, and I've seen it many times in the past. And I think if you remember, so if Evelyn, if you're having a look at this, remember that the answer to this here is going to be smaller than this number. If we end up with a bigger number here, something's gone a bit wrong. And here we've got the equality sign here, equals. So we've got this kind of balancing. So here's a calculation statement, and on the other side of the balance is the answer. And then a question there. Again, using the reasoning vocabulary. pause the video and work through that. Excellent. So before we move on year 6, remember there's going to be a point where you need to reflect on your learning. Sometimes that comes from the answers. Did I get it right or did I get it wrong? But before you have the answers, you want to reflect on how you felt about your confidence levels and your ability to remember and apply your mathematical skills. And it'd be worth making a self-assessment or a learning comment on that. Let's move on and see if we can check the work. Oops. Must remember to insert answers for Tough 10 and Buzzy B maths here. Okay. Oh yes, I remember. That was all part of the plan, boys and girls. What I need from you, get the answers to me, please. You get the answers to that one and that one and that one and the Tough 10. Get them across to me through Dojo in whatever way you can, and then I'll put them on the video for next time. Phew. Well, I really hope that was really helpful, and if you've got a parent or care or other adult helping you, I really hope some of the key things that I pointed out there will help them help you if you really are at the point where you think, I'm not quite sure. So a fairly long explanation on this video. So I can see we've been going for about 17 minutes. And I should imagine just reflecting on the length of the lessons, by the time you've answered, done your learning comments, done your checking, you're working on your maths for about an hour, which is really the same as in class. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. See you on Zoom. Take care. Be brilliant. I believe in you. Mrs. Robinson believes in you. Have a great day.